Okay, so our first story, this is from Brazil, Sao Paulo. Jair Bolsonaro has been defeated in the Brazilian presidential runoff against challenger
Mm.
Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. I don't know what kind of name that is. So Brazil's electoral activity authority said on Sunday, actually, that Luiz
Mm.
Inácio Lula da Silva of the leftist Workers' Party defeated incumbent Jair Bolsonaro to become the country's next president. The election authority said the Silva's victory was a mathematical certainty. The Silva was the country's former president from 2003 to 2010, and he has promised to make the country's more prosperous. And yet he faces
Mm.
headwinds in a polarized society. It is a stunning return to power for Da Silva, whose 2018 imprisonment over a corruption scandal sidelined him from
Oh,
that year's election, paving the way for then candidate Bolsonaro's win and 4 years of right-wing controlled Brazil.
okay,
So
okay.
yes,
So,
that's our story for
so that's a story.
yeah.
Okay, I remember back in 2018 when De Silva lost to the Bolsonaro, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which is why De Silva sounds very familiar, and the name is quite a mouthful as well. So, you say that De Silva is from the Workers' Party, right?
Yes, he
Of
claims.
Brazil? That sounds like normally it's not as a good cause, but then suddenly they just spiral down to like socialism or wokeism or that kind of stuff. Like, it is so. What is like Lula? Is that a name? His
Uh,
name? Yeah, his name,
long
right?
name, but Lula, Lula. Let's just call Lula.
Yeah.
Let's call him Lula.
Okay, okay. So like, what's his agenda and what does he want to do? Is he left wing, that kind of thing? I don't really know much about Brazilian politics. See.
Well, Lula is like, in American context, he'd be a far left radical. He would be to the left of AOC. I'm not sure how far left you can go further to
Left of
AOC,
it. Wait, wait,
but
wait,
you end up falling
wait.
into the Pacific Ocean. So, um, I mean, Trump endorsed Bolsonaro. Let me remind you
Okay.
that.
Ah.
And Bolsonaro defeated the Silva because the Silva is corrupt. He is that's his main thing. He was corrupt.
Mm.
He was in prison for being corrupt.
Wait,
And
wait,
the
wait. But what did he
leftist,
win again this time?
no, some leftist Supreme Court basically allowed him out of prison because the Supreme Court is controlled by radical leftists who allowed a person who was in prison over corruption out of prison. I really don't get how this is allowed.
And then now he's out and about and being the president. When does the
Yes,
fun actually
so
start?
this guy is 77 years old. He has had so many corruption scandals, and I have no idea how he can win.
What does he remind me of Biden? How old is Biden? 77? 78?
80.
Wait, oh my gosh. It's really 80. That's kind of shocking news, but like, what was the corruption scandal at that time?
I'm actually not sure, but I think it was about like some cabinet appointees.
Oh no.
And yeah, that's our story for Brazil. Coming up next, we have a story about Paul Pelosi, the husband of Nancy Pelosi, and his
Yes?
attack. Someone attacked him apparently. But our main thing that we need
What?
to talk about right now is Duolingo, the sponsor of this video. As many of the
Ah,
Brazilian politics is in Portuguese, and most
yes.
of us don't understand Portuguese. That's why
Do
I
I know?
recommend you go to Duolingo to learn Portuguese or any other language that you need to learn. Duolingo,
Aaron's learning
um,
Spanish.
right now I'm learning Spanish and a bit
Yeah.
of Latin. Protokin is learning
Mm. French, French.
French. Uh,
Yes, French.
and if you actually go and check, I believe Portuguese has actually quite a chunk of learners. 2.9 million people are learning Portuguese on the
But why
website.
not join them? Join them.
31.3 million are learning Spanish, 18.8 million are learning French, and 13 million are learning Japanese. You can't go wrong with
Ah.
Duolingo. Go to duolingo.com to learn a language. It is completely free. You do not have to pay any money except
Mm.
for Super Duolingo, which is rather cheap, and you will be able to get a free 2 weeks first to try out how Super Duolingo works. You can do personalized lessons to practice your
Yeah,
mistakes,
yeah,
etc.,
it's
etc.
really good. It's really good.
Yes.
As
So you
Super
can't go
Duolingo.
wrong with Duolingo. As I said, go to duolingo.com and learn a language today.
Okay, so where were we?
So we were actually talking about our next headline, which is Paul Pelosi, and he was assaulted. And AOC has something to say about Paul Pelosi's assault. Sorry, no, Ilhan Omar goes first. She says in her voice, a far-right, white, nationalist Christian tried to assassinate the Speaker of the House and almost kill her husband a year after violent insurrectionists tried to find her and kill her in the Capitol. Ilhan Omar said on Saturday morning. And the
What?
Republicans' response is to either ignore it or belittle it.
Wait, people are still like bothering about January 6th? What is this?
I don't
I
know
remember
what Ilhan Omar
someone
is.
said it was worse than 9/11.
And no, it's not worse than 9/11. Just to remind you guys, 9/11 was way worse.
Yeah, obviously.
9/11 was an act of terrorism. This was an
This is not
election
an act of
justice protest.
terrorism. But I suppose more people would say this is an act of Nazi terrorism or something, like something BS like
9/11
that.
was an act of terrorism. But not
But this is
January 6th.
not. The January
January
6th is
6th
just.
was an election justice protest which ended up getting violent, unfortunately.
Yeah, yes.
And there's a story that AOC is trying to say. And she says, with her beautiful wisdom, yesterday, a man sharing that member's rhetoric tried to assassinate the speaker of and her house and her spouse. Then referring to McCarthy, she wrote, "What has a GOP leader said? Nothing. This is who he is." This is in reference to a comment when Kevin McCarthy joked in private that after Republicans take the House in 2023, he would take the gavel and smash Pelosi's head.
Okay, very interesting. Nice play on house and spouse there, I must say.
No, I actually got it wrong.
You
I
got it
mean,
wrong.
I
Speaking of the spouse.
No, but like on Saturday, McCarthy expanded on that statement in an interview with Breitbart Radio, condemning the violence and saying what happened to Paul Pelosi was wrong. So okay, so you see what has GOP leader said? Nothing. This is who he is, and he literally says to Breitbart, "What happened to Paul Pelosi is wrong."
Wait,
AOC,
who's the assassin? Who's the assassin?
it's not an assassin. Paul Pelosi is still alive.
Wait, no. Like, who's the kind of assassin? Like the person who tried to do it, the perpetrator.
I don't think that the identity has been revealed yet.
Oh. I think it is like not a very good thing, and like hoo-ha is quite natural, but like it's not. Why is it referencing back to January 6th? Like everything suddenly relates back to January 6th, and all the Democrats are like January 6th. This is January 6th. That is January 6th. Everything is January 6th, and even this channel is January 6th because of how right wing it is. This is hopeless. This is what the arguments they're all making now.
And like if you read and you think about it, right? They talk about danger and political violence. What happened to Lee Zeldin? Lee Zeldin was attacked. He's running for governor of New York. He was attacked. Um, Supreme Court justices, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, I remind you guys, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, all the death threats, there were so many death threats to Alito, so many death threats to Kavanaugh, so many death threats to Barrett, so many death threats to especially Clarence Thomas, and death threats to, frankly, all the Republican justices. I think I'm missing one.
And then there's all those people who are screaming at the sky on TikTok, if you will remember. I think we might need to react to some of those. Those are just ugly. Like those people who are sitting in the car, like the parents' car, holding the phone, and then they're like yeah, those kinds of people.
And Minority Whip Steve Scalise, who's the #2 House Republican. In fact, let me remind you guys, he was shot at by a politically motivated Bernie Sanders gunman when a bunch of at the congressional baseball game in 2017 with a bunch of Republicans when they were practicing. I believe Ron DeSantis was the only one to get away unharmed. The rest of them were they were injured, and Scalise suffered life-threatening injuries after this happened.
Okay, so wait, how long ago was that actually? The baseball stuff?
I believe like 5 years ago.
Oh, oh.
And okay, so and AOC has a lot of BS tweet. She says, I quote, an anime video created by Representative Paul Gozar showing him killing me is so racist and LGBTQ hating, and the GOP
Wait,
leader
what?
defended him. Ah!
What does she mean by the anime and then the murder and whatnot? Did they just kill the character she liked or what?
No, like no. Paul Gozar like edited a anime video to add his face on the guy, and he like slashed AOC's neck,
Oh,
I believe.
oh, oh, and then now AOC is whining and complaining.
Um, I guess so. And
AOC
now we
blocked
have
us,
a
right?
Twitter. We now have Twitter people screaming at each other. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted,
Ah,
Joe Biden's America has violence and crime which are rampant. It should not happen to Paul Pelosi. It should not happen to uh innocent Americans. It should not happen to me. Brackets slaughtered 6 times, violence and death threats every day. Whether it's Atlanta, Chicago, New York, or San Francisco, we need to fund and support police and end the deadly nationwide crime, praying for Paul Pelosi. And Pelosi's buddy tweeted, you called for Nancy Pelosi to be executed at Rep MTG. You said that she should be hung for treason. And now that someone listened, you're making Paul Pelosi's attack about you. This is what Republicans stand for, America. It's sick. This is Representative Jim McGovern, and
what?
he will use every opportunity to insert his political points.
I'm trying to say that AOC was also quite nasty to some people. Like, as I said earlier, I think she blocked us, right? Like what did she do? She blocked you, I think, and then after that she blocked me. And since then, I've actually never looked at AOC's Twitter before because like it's just full of rubbish. The last tweet that she had was something about the Green New Deal and all the stuff that she did for America, which would honestly be 0 minutes, 0 seconds short. No. Actually, it should be 10 seconds. It should just be her saying, "Oh, and now these are the lists of the things that I've done for the USA," and then the video ends.
So
Like seriously, what did she do?
some random lefty on Twitter commented to Jim McGovern. By the way, this is the same lefty who says, I quote, Charlie Crist will win this November. His name is Adam Rifkin. He's delusional, as delusional as Charlie Crist himself. Okay, so he went to reply. Marjorie Taylor Greene blames Joe Biden for the violence and crime she calls for, and yet she's a cheerleader for Putin too. And here's the best thing. He takes a tweet, not from Marjorie Taylor Greene, not from anyone in the House, from himself a few months ago. He takes a tweet from himself a few months ago, and
What?
we have leaders like Marjorie Taylor Greene or cheerleaders, and it's like I'm citing my own evidence. These people are so smart. And then after that, he starts talking after political violence. He starts talking about Putin, and then now he starts talking about the big lie. And then he talks about how Marcus Flowers, this delusional idiot who thinks he can win in the R+70 district, and talking about how you all need to drive down to Georgia's 14th to vote for Marcus for Georgia. And it's like, vote blue to save our democracy.
Oh no. This is so weird. Like the person is literally citing their own evidence. Do you get this right? Do I get this right? Like he's citing his
Yes.
own evidence. Like he's posting a tweet and he's using that as evidence for more of his tweets, which he might later use as more evidence. Is that how it is?
I mean, like citing your own evidence is the most. It's a massive L. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like hopeless. It's cheapskate and that, I might say.
Hello, and we will be now moving on to Elon Musk, who will be revamping Twitter's user verification process and charge $20 a month for Twitter Blue. Currently, you don't need to pay for Twitter Blue to get a Twitter verification. Twitter Blue currently is just to edit your tweets, but Twitter may soon require verified users to subscribe to Twitter Blues to keep their blue check marks.
Ah,
Now, do you think this is a good idea? I mean, I think that there are reasons for this, especially because these blue tick journalists, the woke
yes.
journalists have mostly have blue ticks. They all all these resist lip accounts. For example, Taylor Lorenz, the person who dumps lips of TikTok, um,
Oh,
the absolute loser, Taylor Lorenz, she has a tick. Here's my opinion. She should have to pay to get a blue tick because these people, do you know why they're getting blue ticks? All these blue tick
blue
journalists,
tick.
let me read some of their names, all right? Um Ronan Farrell, investigative reporter, uh
What is an
Brandy
investigative reporter?
Drosny,
Like people
senior
who
reporter
investigate
at
journalistics or
NBC
something?
News to protect our reproductive
Oh,
rights. Will Sommer,
ew.
politics reporter at the Daily Beast, author of Trust the Plan, a book on how evil QAnon is and their plots with Donald Trump, coming in 2023. Like
What?
all these people, here's my opinion, they should all have to pay.
Yeah, that's just, ugh.
Um, oh,
What's this
here's all the
deal
best
with
ones. Here's
Trump
all the
and
better ones.
QAnon anyway? Like,
Mehdi
bro.
Hassan, host Mehdi Hassan show on MSNBC. Uh,
NBC?
oh my gosh, like literally recommended after that is Huawei. So
MSNBC?
these people,
Okay.
here's my opinion,
Mhm.
these people should have to pay for their blue ticks.
Yes.
Because all these people with blue ticks, most of them at least are liberals. I mean, I
Mm.
understand that Tucker Carlson has a blue tick, I believe, but
Yeah, he does, he does.
yes, he does. But like, I think a lot of people, in my opinion, I think a lot of these people are going rent free, and I think they should have to pay
Mm.
for their blue ticks. All right, we're done with the show. We will see you soon. Anyway, smash the like button and smash the subscribe button on my
Turn it
channel
gray.
and on Politicons channel. We'll see
Turn
you.
it gray.
Peace out.
Okay, so this is the end of this episode of Aiden and Politicon. But you can see us in the next episode that will be coming out in a few days, I think. So don't forget to smash that like button and turn that subscribe button as gray as possible. If you want, leave a comment, but we don't really care about what you want to do after that. Anyway, that's it for this episode.